Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us again for another edition of Wake Up with YPN. I'm Brooke Bahndorf, ICAR's 2020 YPN chair. I am thrilled to introduce to you today our next speaker. This is a young lady I've known for a long time, since her days of college, actually. It has been such a pleasure watching her and a joy watching her take the insurance world by storm. Fun fact you might not know about her, actually, she used to have her real estate license. She and I actually did our 60-hour pre-licensing course right here at ICAR. But without further ado, I'm excited to introduce to you all the lovely Christa Payne with Country Financial. Christa, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, hanging in there. It's funny you mentioned taking the insurance world by storm, considering I was like, no pun intended.
Wondered if anyone picked up on that. So you're surviving, huh?
Barely. It's getting better, but it's been a trying few weeks after the nice derecho that hit us. So yeah.
Yeah, after a hailstorm, like
two. We had one in April, one in July, and then we had the August storm, the derecho. So it's been quite the 6 months that we've had.
I'm sure. And you've been busy just keeping everyone. I mean, I've seen you sponsored food trucks through Cedar Rapids while people were without power and homes.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, just trying to do, I was trying to come up with, and we had to think fast. I mean, we didn't have power. We didn't lose it for very long here personally, but just trying to think as fast as I could, like, how can I get to people with no cell service? I mean, it was just helping them file their claims. I couldn't even do that because no one could call in. So I just thought the least I could do was give them some, hot food that they could just say my name and it was taken care of on the house. So
yeah, awesome. Well, tell us more about what you do with Country Financial. Obviously, storm claims and stuff like that, but you do a whole lot more.
Yeah, so Country Financial, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with it outside of me, but we don't do a lot of advertising. The company itself has been around since the 1920s. So we're an insurance and wealth management firm, and I am my own business within that. So I've had my own agency for 10 years now. So within that, I do obviously insurance, as we mentioned, and then wealth management as well. So I work with individuals and families, and then small to medium-sized businesses as well for their protection of their assets.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you really do it all. I know from commercial real estate, auto, home, and then now all the financial planning and whatnot. So good for you.
Yeah.
So you've been really busy with all of this storm stuff. I just maybe wanted to touch on some frequently asked questions you've been hearing, any way that we can maybe help those people that are still kind of struggling with their claims or adjuster questions, if maybe you can touch on anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a good, I'll start with kind of how realtors are such a huge, it's a big impact that you guys have in the community. You guys are such a wealth of knowledge. So I think how you could maybe help the clients or the people still going through, now the recovery phase and getting all of their damage repaired, or a waiting list for that anyway. Is just to share your contacts. I mean, I know that you guys know so many people like in the construction business or in electrical or, whatever it is, you guys are familiar with that just from the buying and selling process. So having those like preferred recommendations, people that you know and trust that are not going to take advantage of the situation. We've had so much of that with price gouging and, out-of-state contractors trying to take advantage of people. And it would be nice if you guys could share like your trusted people.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that makes so much sense. I mean, I know the contractors are just completely swamped right now, but I didn't even think about the out-of-state people trying to come in and.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, a lot of them are here to help. I will say that, play devil's advocate. They are here to help. They're here to make money. They've been doing amazing things. It's not all out of state people. I don't want to like pinpoint somebody like that, but we have seen a lot of price gouging. A lot of people get reported to the state for that. So yeah, it's now is when those trusted relationships are like the most important, is when you can say, I've personally worked with this person to fix my electrical issues or whatever it is. And you can say, like, I trust this person. And that makes a world of difference.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So then as far as claims go, most people have probably, people that have been affected have probably submitted their claims already, but post that point, are you seeing any frequently asked questions come up? Or I know for me, when I received a check for my damage, it was actually made out to my mortgage company. And at first I didn't really know what to do with it. And your company was very good about saying, well, you have to send it into your mortgage company to get endorsed. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. So a lot of people have been surprised with that. And that is the same for auto as well, if you have an auto claim and a lien. So anytime that another party has a lien interest in your financial interest in your property, whether it's your home or your car, whatever it is, we have to make the check payable to them, since they technically own your property until that lien is paid off. So it will come to whoever's listed on the policy, in addition to the mortgage company. So what I've been telling people, and the adjusters are telling people, is that make sure to call, especially ahead of time, if you know that you have a mortgage listed, to call them and find out their process. Because what we're seeing too is that every mortgage company has a different process. Some of them, if they're a local bank, they have been great. You can just walk it in and have somebody sign at a local branch, which has been amazing. Some people not so lucky. You have to mail in a check, have them endorse it. And some companies are even requiring W-9s and insurance, the estimates, and then the bids from the contractors to send in with it. So like all of your contractors, you need a W-9 in some cases, which is crazy to me. But yeah, everyone's got their own process. So just make sure to call and know what that is before you take the check to the bank to cash it.
Anything else that you can think of that with the storm damage, the hail damage, stuff like that, that would maybe make your guys' life a little bit easier, or just some tips for people?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, we're kind of in the middle of it now. For the most part, everyone's filed their claim, as you mentioned. I've been asked, should I file a claim? Because we still have some stragglers coming in. So you have a year to actually file your claims. If you're not sure if you have damage from the hailstorm before that, or from the derecho, or whatever it is, you actually have a year. So if it's not an immediate need to have somebody come out and repair that or look at that, I've been telling people, if it's cosmetic, or if you're unsure, you can hold off until people are less busy. It's going to help you. It's going to help the adjusters. It's going to help all the contractors who are on backlogged wait lists, so they can focus their attention on those people, with severe damage that we're tending to first. Yeah. So the year mark is where you have until to file a new claim.
Great information.
Yeah. So, and I guess just another thing is just keep communication open. I've been kind of monitoring. There's the Facebook Iowa Derecho resources page. I don't know if everyone's involved in that. But if you've had damage, or if you can provide help to people, or, you just want to bring meals or whatever it is, get involved in that Facebook group. I've been kind of monitoring that and just answering questions as much as I can, just to anybody who comments on, insurance related stuff, and being as generic as I can, obviously, if I'm not their insurer. But just keep the communication open with your agent and the claims representative. I mean, if there's questions about something, ask. We don't want you in a position where you're angry or frustrated. We're here to help you. The insurance companies are not out to get you in most cases. So just ask. And I've had to go to bat for a couple of my clients, and there's been some misunderstandings, but that's what we're here to do. So if you're frustrated, tell us. If you're happy, tell us that too, because we don't hear that very often either. So
leave reviews.
Yeah.
A realtor related question, I guess. So with a lot of homes closing that may have storm damage, what does that look like? So obviously, if I have a closing next week and there needs to be some roof repairs done, once the home transfers title, is that still covered under my insurance plan with you, or are you running into issues with that?
We haven't run into any issues with it yet. Most people, either the closings have been sadly delayed or the closings that are happening don't really have substantial damage. So one thing we're checking for from an insurance standpoint, obviously, is damage. Is there existing damage on the home? So, and I can't speak really for the lending side of it, but I do know that a lot of times the lender will escrow for those repairs. So the insurance would pay out from the seller's insurance policy, because that's who had the home insured at the time of loss. Mm-hmm. And they would put those insurance funds into an escrow account so the new buyer can then replace the roof at their, convenience or whatever. So it shouldn't hold anything back. It just might be a few extra pieces of documentation as far as when they're, what their repair estimate is and the timeline for getting those done. And then as long as we have that from an insurance side, that information as well, we can show our underwriters, yes, there's existing damage. The funds are in an account, transferring ownership. It's going to be repaired by X date. And we don't have an issue with that. So it should not hold anything up, hypothetically.
Perfect. Well, is there anything else that you want to touch on or chat about today?
I guess, I'll just mention storm aside, since that's all I've been talking about for the last 4 to 6 weeks. September is Life Insurance Awareness Month too. And that's something that I'm really passionate about. I have my FSCP designation, which is a huge focus in life insurance and wealth management and retirement planning. And so I just wanted to share that. So if you haven't looked at your plan, now is a really good time to do it. There's a lot of materials out there that you can go to. I learned an interesting fact a long time ago that only 59% of people have life insurance, which is crazy low in my opinion. And then only half of those have enough coverage. Everybody else is underinsured. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on aside from the storm, is getting everybody recouped from that. And then obviously raising awareness for Life Insurance Month as well.
Yeah. For sure. And I don't think a lot of people know that you handle that either. So that's good to know. And you're right. I mean, I just had this conversation the other day. I'm like, do I need life insurance? I mean, to me, I feel like I'm too young for that, right?
That's what a lot of people think. But, age, I insure little kids from, a week after they're born. And I just made a post on my Instagram about child life insurance. So you're never too young, and it only gets more expensive. So today is literally the cheapest day that it's going to be for you to purchase life insurance. And there are other things that you can do with it. So it's not just what happens if I pass away, who gets my money. You can actually have benefits included in your plan if it's important to you for retirement, if it's important to you to leave money to a nonprofit, if it's important to leave money to your kids, or if you're a single person and you literally just want to raise that cash, like I said, for retirement funding, you can also do that as a piece of the puzzle. It's not the whole puzzle, but there are other benefits besides just the death benefit. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Good to know. And you also do a lot of you're doing virtual classes and just webinars and stuff on all of that stuff too, right?
Yeah, I've done a couple. We've geared a couple towards small business is the one I most recently did. So just kind of things to look for if you're a small business owner, questions to ask, I am just a huge believer in educating people. So you understand what you have, why you have it, why it's important to have those liability limits, or what coverages are important for you specifically. So it's a very customizable situation. I just want people to feel very secure. If there is a claim like we just had, with the storm, or if there's a life insurance claim, I want everyone to be like, oh, well, Christa and I just reviewed that, in our annual review last year. So, and she went over this in great detail. So education and doing those online seminars has been important for me, from my learning, as well as just educating the general community about it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for everything that you're doing, Christa, and all of your help. And thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to see you. Take care. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you in a couple weeks.